Welcome to Super Showdowns, the ultimate destination for epic battles and legendary showdowns. Join us as we put iconic superheroes, villains, and mythological figures against each other in thrilling matches of strength, strategy, and skill. The neon lights of New York City flickered beneath the moonlit sky as Tony Stark stood atop the Avengers Tower, sipping a glass of whiskey. The world had been relatively quiet, too quiet. He had a bad feeling in his gut, and usually, when Tony Stark had a bad feeling, something big was about to happen. Jarvis's voice interrupted his thoughts. "Sir, an unknown vessel has entered Earth atmosphere. The trajectory suggests it's heading straight for Manhattan." Tony sighed, placing the glass on the railing. "And let me guess, it's not here for a vacation?" "Not likely, sir. The ship is of Charnian origin." The name sent a chill down his spine. The Charnian race was long extinct, except for one. And if that one was here, it could only mean bad news. A thunderous boom echoed through the night as the skies tore apart, and a flaming space cycle came crashing down, smashing through the streets below. Cars flipped, alarms blared, and people screamed as the figure rode through the chaos, his wicked grin visible even through the smoke. Lobo, the infamous bounty hunter, the main man himself, skidded his ride to a halt, stepping off as if he owned the city. His leather jacket flapped in the wind, the long chains around his wrists clinking ominously. He pulled out a hollow pad, tapping on the bounty contract he'd been given. The payout was insane. Tony Stark, dead or alive, preferably dead. Well, ain't that sweet? Lobo cracked his knuckles. He didn't care who had placed the bounty. All that mattered was the thrill of the hunt and the payday at the end. Up in the tower, Tony suited up. The nanotech from his latest Model Prime armor spread over his body, forming a sleek, crimson and gold masterpiece. JRVIS, prep all countermeasures. Whoever's paying this guy is loaded. The windows of the Avengers Tower shattered as Lobo launched himself upward, crashing through the reinforced steel like it was paper. The moment he landed in Stark's penthouse, he took a deep whiff. MMM smells like money, metal, and an overinflated ego. Iron Man hovered in midair, palm repulsors glowing. "I take it you're not here to negotiate." Lobo grinned. "Stark, I got two options for you. One, you come with me and I kill you quick. Two, you resist and I have myself a little fun first." Tony fired first. A pulse of concentrated energy blasted into Lobo's chest, sending him crashing through three walls and out onto the rooftop. But before Stark could celebrate, a shadow loomed from the rubble. Lobo stood back up, completely unfazed, cracking his neck with a satisfied grin. "Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. The hunt begins." Tony blasted into the sky, hoping to lure Lobo away from the city. His repulsors fired in rapid succession, raining a storm of energy beams at the bounty hunter. Lobo dodged some, tanked others, and leapt after him, grabbing onto Iron Man's ankle mid-flight. "Whoa, buddy."
Hey you, don't just watch. Subscribe, please.
Personal space. Tony activated a high-voltage electric surge through his suit, hoping to fry Lobo's nervous system. But instead of letting go, Lobo grinned wider. "I eat electricity for breakfast, Stark." Lobo swung his massive chain, wrapping it around Tony's neck and hurling him downward like a meteor. The billionaire genius crashed through a skyscraper, tearing through floors before he landed on a highway with a devastating impact. Cars screeched to a halt, some flipping over from the sheer force. As the dust settled, Iron Man pushed himself up, systems flickering red. JRVS status: severe structural damage. Estimated 64% power remaining. Not good. A loud engine roared in the distance. Lobo had summoned his space bike and was now racing toward him at breakneck speed, chains swinging wildly. Tony locked onto him and launched a pair of smart missiles. They zipped through the air, curving around debris and heading straight for Lobo. The bounty hunter just laughed, revved his bike, and dodged at the last second. The missiles exploded behind him, shattering the pavement, but Lobo kept coming. Iron Man fired a uni-beam, a concentrated blast of energy that lit up the entire area like a second sun. The beam slammed into Lobo, sending him skidding back, but not stopping him. His jacket burned, his face was singed, but he was still grinning. That all you got, Metal Man? Tony gritted his teeth. This guy was a monster. He needed a plan. Fast. With one final command, he activated the Hulkbuster protocol, summoning one of his heaviest suits from orbit. As the massive Hulkbuster armor descended from the sky, Lobo just cracked his knuckles. Now we're talking. The Hulkbuster armor slammed into the ground like a meteor, sending a shockwave through the ruined streets. Dust and debris billowed into the air as Iron Man stepped forward, now encased in one of his most powerful suits. The heavy-duty plating, enhanced servo strength, and multi-layered shielding made it one of the few weapons in Stark's arsenal that could go toe-to-toe with gods. Lobo simply cracked his neck. Cute. A bigger toy. That's supposed to scare me. Tony wasn't in the mood for banter. His thrusters ignited, launching him forward, and the two collided with a force that shattered the pavement beneath them. Lobo's ribs cracked from the impact as Iron Man's massive fists drove him backward, punching him through the remains of a collapsed building. Lobo grunted in surprise, but didn't stop grinning. He spat out a tooth, only for a new one to grow back instantly. Damn, Stark. That actually hurt. Tony didn't let up. His
Hey you, don't just watch. Subscribe please.
rocket-boosted fist slammed into Lobo's face, sending the bounty hunter skidding across the ground. Before Lobo could recover, Iron Man grabbed his chain, wrapped it around his arm, and used it to swing Lobo like a wrecking ball, hurling him through another building. The main man crashed through steel, concrete, and glass, finally smashing into the side of a power plant. Sparks flew as live wires snapped, arcing with blue electricity. Tony hovered above, his HUD analyzing Lobo's vitals. JRVS, tell me he's down. Negative, sir. Regenerative abilities remain intact. As if on cue, Lobo emerged from the wreckage, his leather jacket still smoldering, his red eyes glowing with bloodlust. He rolled his shoulders and cracked his knuckles, grinning wider than ever. All right, Stark. Playtime's over. Lobo moved faster than Tony expected, a blur of raw muscle and violence. Before Stark could react, Lobo closed the distance and drove his fist into the Hulkbuster's chest plate. The armor dented inward, sending shockwaves through Tony's body. The billionaire barely had time to stabilize before Lobo grabbed both arms of the Hulkbuster and ripped them clean off. You think some oversized tin can's gonna stop me? Tony's heart pounded. This was bad. Lobo headbutted him with a force that cracked the reinforced visors of the suit. Sparks flew as Tony's internal systems glitched, alarms blaring in his ears. Warning. Structural integrity at 18%. Tony fired every last weapon he had left. Missiles, repulsors, micro-drones. But Lobo powered through them all, his body regenerating faster than Tony could damage it. Lobo grabbed Tony by the neck, lifting him off the ground like a rag doll. You're tough, Stark. I'll give you that. But you ain't main man tough. With a vicious roar, Lobo smashed Tony's head into the pavement, cracking the Hulkbuster's helmet open. The suit's power core sputtered, and Tony's vision blurred as his oxygen levels plummeted. Lobo took a drag from his cigar, exhaled smoke, and stomped down on Iron Man's chest, crushing the arc reactor beneath his boot. The Hulkbuster's suit powered down. Inside, Tony gasped for air, blood trickling from his forehead. His nanotech tried to repair itself, but his suit's energy was drained. He had nothing left. Lobo grinned, spinning his hook chain before wrapping it around Tony's throat. Hate to do this to ya, but a bounty's a bounty. With a violent yank, Lobo dragged Stark across the asphalt, then swung him high into the air, before slamming him down with enough force to create a crater. Silence. Tony Stark wasn't moving. His armor flickered weakly, his breathing ragged. Lobo crouched beside him, poking him with his chain. Still alive? Damn, You humans are stubborn. Then his hollow pad beeped. A new transmission came in from his client. Lobo glanced at the screen and chuckled. Well, looks like they don't want you dead after all. He grabbed the barely conscious Stark by the collar, hoisted him over his shoulder, and whistled for his space bike. As the engine roared, Lobo took one last look at the ruins of New York. Nice place. Maybe I'll come back and wreck it for fun. With that, he blasted off into the sky, disappearing into the void of space, Iron Man defeated and captured in his grasp.